Welcome to What's Cooking. I'm Jesper Petersen from KDAB, and don't worry, I will not tell you about food because that's not exactly my specialty. We will be talking, however, to interesting people. In this episode, we'll talk to two people from the Qt company. Qt has just been released in version 6.10. We are right in the heart of Berlin, Germany, where our new office is located. It is very new. So new that it's not entirely done yet. So if there's people drilling in the background, please bear with us.
Take a different as I said.
Gentlemen.
Hey Jesper, how are
Hello.
you?
See you again.
Good seeing you. So with me, as you can tell, I have Maurice Kalinowski.
Right.
Yeah. And Maycon Stamboroski.
Right.
I have the very first question. Are you ready? Do I need, if I want to work with a Qt company, do I need to rename myself to something ski?
Yes, how you do then? What's your...
Jesper Petersen ski. There we are.
A couple of years ago, everyone complained about Finnish names, right? So,
Proven. And also there's another thing. You cannot wear white shirts anymore.
So when we meet at a pool party in 10 years, I don't know if pool parties exist or whether elderly gentlemen like us will go to pool parties, but we meet somewhere and we talk about, remember that day when Qt 6.10 was released. What is the highlight that you remember from that time?
Should I start?
go for it.
For me, it would be meeting Jesper in person, having a selfie, of course, and going to the new KDAB office. Definitely was something I will remember.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about Qt and the framework itself, for me, would be the new ways you are bringing to make easy to handle data with your UI. So we have the new modules that definitely we don't see if you're working with the graphics part, like if you're not an expert or advanced Qt user, but definitely makes things easier, make more attractive for the framework.
Okay. Maurice?
On my side, as you're asking for pool parties being more personal thing, I guess there's two personal notes to that. Number one is it's the first time that Maycon actually has been driving all, if not most, if not all of the release activities. Mm-hmm. So they grow so fast.
Oh.
Those kids, huh?
The other part is that then leads to the realization of how big Qt is. Like, what is it we're doing for all the modules, all the functionality in there. It's when you're in the details of everything, you don't necessarily recognize that, but that's a realization just happening over these weeks with the launch.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the old days of let's make a release. Who's going to run the task script is not there. How long does the not necessarily running the scripts, but the whole process of up to a release? How long does that take?
I mean, we have tight release schedules when it comes to feature freeze, when everything needs to be in, and then from there on, it's quality assurance. We aim for releases March, September, which most of the cases work. But also, we have for the next release in March 6.11, the feature freeze is beginning of December already. So that's where we know what's coming, and then we have maturing quality up going to actually make the release happen.
So September to December, that's like 4 months of development and 2 months of releasing, and how does that work?
Not for months development, like things that we are aiming to release on 6.12 that will be October next year, they're already ongoing. So the development phase is longer sometimes. So it's about planning, of course, what you want to do.
So you're going to break 6.12 this badly that you need a whole year to stabilize it again.
Going to add so much more value.
Got you.
Yeah, big things.
So I read the release note of Qt 6.10, and it had a lot of things in there. Among other things, it talked about Flex Layout. And before, of course, I know you guys, and you're gonna talk about this Figma thingy in relationship to that. Is that the new name for QML?
No, it's a completely different thing. I mean, for quite some time, we've been looking into how can we bring designers and developers closer together.
Okay.
Also accepting fully the fact that designers have their own tools. One of the most prominent, if not the most prominent tool is Figma.
Yeah.
It's a design tool for sketching, prototyping, going through all kinds of design processes. And in the end of your process or of your workflow, you then generate QML code. That's where the Flex layout then basically comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, the Flexbox layout is something that's quite common in Figma, how designers create their layouts nowadays. And we're bringing this functionality to QML as well to make it easier for people to do these transitions from design to code. And this layout makes things easier. Actually, it will arrange the items inside it itself. You can add some, how to say, like you have some properties as part of the layout. So you can have, like, for instance, the width or the preferred height and this kind of stuff that you already have for those layouts. And you don't need to handle with such complexity. You allow the layout to organize things for yourself.
Okay, so if I understand the two of you right, the designer will do their thing in Figma.
Yes.
Then they will press a magic button, and then out comes some QML code.
Exactly.
And that QML code is looking exactly like what they envisioned in Figma, and then we'll take over, us, the coder, and we will hook that up to whatever user interface they have.
That's pretty much the vision, yes.
And to make it easier for the integration with the designer, and possibly even the language of when I go back to them and say blah, 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 then I'll say Flexbox Layout, and they will understand what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
But how about all of us that do not have a designer with us on our team, and therefore do not have the Figma thing? Will we continue using flow layout and anchor layout and whatnot, or are we all going to say Flexbox Layout? That's the cool that's what the cool kids do.
That's what the cool kids do, I would say. If you want to be cool.
Are you among the cool kids?
I think if you compare especially with Flow and Anchor's layout, Flow itself has some limitations. It's care about, like, your kind of a row, and you don't have so much flexibility to select, like, set up in the margins of each item or, like, the gaps that you have between them. And for the anchors is really powerful.
Yeah,
I would argue that you can do the same thing with anchors, but then you need to be careful with re-anchoring things. You need to have states, you need to have transitions and animations. And if you're using Flexbox Layout, you don't need to worry about that. You just put everything inside this layout and it will be rearranged automatically for you.
Things happening automatic. That sounds great.
Yes.
Another item I saw in the release note is that in Qt 6.10, there is improved support for Lottie, which brings up a lot of questions. First of all, Lottie, is that the new girl in accounting?
You always gonna do that. You explain what it is and explain what you're doing.
Okay, let's take it that way. I explain.
Yeah, perfect. Wow.
So I guess once again, we're talking about a very specific user persona. Lottie comes into the scenario of micro animations. What is micro animations? You always bring up the example with Instagram. When you click the like button, you see this heart popping up. My boring one is the loading screen and the loading spin wheel, for instance. All kinds of these animations.
Just hang on a second here. See. Now we have micro animations buttons here all around us.
Yeah,
awesome?
that's the magic of the
these fingers.
So how do you create these, right? And again, you have designers in that respect using specific tools. In that case, Lottie is one of the most used tools. There's other, let's say, challenges like Rive, etc., where you have a different story about. But Lottie is basically, again, a tool which generates a certain file format saying, this is the animation, this is how it's supposed to look like, and then how do you bring that into your application? And that's where Maycon chimes in now.
Yeah, and we already had Lottie support for a while, but that was based on the QPainter. And what we're doing is bringing on top of our vector image module, which is hardware accelerated. So we'll be able to play those Lottie animations inside QML as you do for other kinds of, we had for SVG, for instance, nowadays. And there are multiple ways to play animations. You can just load the file as you use an image. You just give the source file and we will play. And you have you can loop the animation, play, pause. What other thing we are also integrating is a tool that you can convert the Lottie file to directly QML code.
Okay.
And that will allow you to have more control. You can inspect the QML code, you can change properties, of course, and you can compile that code as well.
So when you say QML code, is that the good old number and property animation and whatnot
exactly
that people have learned on our QML introduction to Qt?
Plugging here, yeah, I see.
Academy, of course, you mean.
Yeah.
Definitely, like Qt has already this know animators, animations, transformations, quite powerful, but then takes a lot of effort to do that. So from developer's perspective, it's way easier if you have a file that you just load, of course. And then you can give the control of the animation, because that's quite important for the designers to have these nudges, this look and feel. So you don't need to, pixel match on your application. How you do that with QML, you can just load this file and you have that one-to-one.
There is, wait for the drama here, a new element in Qt 6.10 that I want to bring everybody's attention to. Can you put on the drums now? Excellent. Wait for it. Search filter. Wow, a Q line edit with a Q completer, and you are making a lot of fuss out of that. That is amazing. Well done. So what's up with that one? Is there more to it than what meets the eye?
It is building control. Like, we want to expand our offering. It is a text field with like some icons for searching, cancel, and also a pop-up to display the results. Everything built in its own box. And that's something that if you create this kind of interfaces, you may have done a couple of times. You need to handle with templating and styling, this kind of stuff. And with this control, as part of this control packages, you have all the things that you have for the other controls already. Like you have all our 9 different built-in styles. For instance, you can switch and it will be working. Have new things, high contrast, everything that we have ready to use.
I think that's the most important part here. It's not, you could limit it down from a statement, line edit plus completer. Then again, like Maycon said, it's the effort, it's the styling, it's the theming, the native integration, all these kind of things you would then need to take care of if you did it on your own. And Q, to a large extent, is about simplicity and ease of access.
And I think you say, like, you can do it. That's the power of Qt Quick and QML, the compositions of your UI. You can do a lot of stuff. We want to, as I told you before, we make a little bit easier for you to do.
And coming from a widget background, I know that it has been 5 decades ago since there was the last widget coming to Qt. And every time I meet a Qt person, a Qt, mind you, person, I will go and say, hey, what is up with, why can we not have new controls? And they say, why don't you provide one? You will give up. You'll give up 3 months in when you realize how much work it is to style across all the different, and I guess that is part.
That's the thing.
Why am I doing your part of the interview now? Do you have a question for me there? Where does the data come from, though? I mean, Q Completer, that's something with model view and so on.
The data can come directly from your QML or for your C++. You can pass that through.
So from a Q abstract item model subclass kind of thing?
The Q standard models as well.
Yes.
You need to set up the model row, and there are some things that you need to fulfill, of course, but yes.
And I would like to extend a thank you very much that you will bring the pain onto the QML people nowadays. We have in C++ world so many years been fighting saying Q abstract filter sort proxy model. There was no abstract in there, I guess, but Q sort filter proxy model. And try saying that at home 8 times in a row. Now we have a, not Q, sort filter proxy model on the QML side.
Sort filter proxy model. I hope I said it right. Yes, we have on QML side. Make it easier. You can do directly on the declarative way. You don't need to go to the C++ side to have it now. So yes, that's coming together. It fits really well with this new control. So that make everything easier to do from the QML side.
Yeah. And I don't blame you because you are the new kid. But you should be old enough to know, my friend, about the good old times when we had design pattern books and whatnot. And we say, one of the cool thing about proxies is that you separate
the data.
You separate concerns. And then you have one proxy. See, I've been trying to teach that for the last 15 years. Then you have one proxy that does sort and filter at the same time. It's like, what's up with that? Oh, well. And now to something we've all been waiting for decades. The Synchronizer element. And for those of you that do not know, the problem of bindings or of double bindings, well, again, you have to watch a slightly younger version of me explaining the problem of this one wants to update, and now it's a binding, but then all of a sudden it is it's just a value in there, and the binding has been overwritten. That is solved now with the Synchronizer.
Everything is solved now, of course. Don't need to worry anymore. Yes, that's a new module that we're bringing. We are bringing that as a labs module because we need to see how that works in the wild. So we know that our users are really creative on how they do bindings. So we want to get the feedback as well of the people like, hey, this is what works, that's not works. We have those edge cases. So yeah. If you're using Synchronizer, please tell us how it's going.
So that's a labs module, you say? Is that like tech preview?
It's a tech.
We're going to break it all for you in the next release. This is just to show you what you could have had.
If you look at our labs modules, they are quite stable for a while. We usually, when you put something in public, we don't put with the intention that we want to break that, but we say people that we will improve on that. So based on the feedback, we only put something in the labs or tech preview is because we want people to use and tell us what is working, what is not. So we want to have this collaborative approach with the users and our customers and everybody work with Qt. Should
I use it in production code?
Yeah, why not? As long as you test it.
Okay, but it's I guess it's gonna, will it break binary compatibility? What kind of breakage would I be?
I mean, for tech preview, that might happen. It seldomly happens. Usually the feedback we get is, it's fine, we just need one or two things in addition. But that's why we do tech previews or labs. We have no commitment on the API level in that respect yet. So yes, you can use it, but then again, be aware that things might happen on the next upgrade cycle.
Okay. Yeah. Can you tell me something about how it works?
Basically, as you said, you can bind multiple properties there, and it solves this issue mainly if you don't know where the data flow is coming. So I have this classic text field example that you have a text field, you want to show something coming from a model, some text there, like some pre-filled text, and you want to edit this text and you want everything to be, tied together. So the Synchronizer helps in this kind of things, and you have different ways to use it. You can use these on kind of syntax that you say like Synchronizer on property X. You can use the target source or target object, for instance. So there's a few ways that you can tell you what will be synchronized for each item, for each object, and what properties will be. So a lot of control for the developer there.
So no more property bindings. All of the future will be synchronizers, or
it is a property bind itself.
How large is this problem? I mean, if I am now 10 years ahead and we sit here at the pool side, and sorry for all of you that get pictures of me sitting there on the side of the pool, I will of course wear a perfect attire, but we're sitting there and we are now grabbing through the source code. What percentages of will it be regular property bindings as we learned back in school in the early Qt 4.7 days, and how much of it will be synchronizers?
I would say that even the Synchronizer, how it looks, it's a binding itself. So you will basically be seamless what is a binding, what's a synchronizer, I would say. Depends on how you want to make things synchronized or up to date to each other. I think that's what makes easier. It's still bindings at the end.
Fair enough. And I guess with as many other things, I'll just try the binding, and if I all of a sudden realize, where did my binding go? Oh, there was an assignment. Oh, then I should.
Then you need to go for the synchronizer.
Then I should be remembering this beautiful sunshine. No, forget about the sun.
Think about it.
In talking about synchronizers, and look up the exact syntax.
Yeah.
QGraph had changes in 6.10.2. It says. And just for those of you that is not entirely up to speed with what is QGraph, let me just tell you, it is what previously was Qt data visualization and Qt chart. So basically just to show progress to your bosses, you renamed a bit of technologies, and then there we are, and now we call it QGraph, and here comes the explosions beside mine.
That's how I got my job, actually. I just renamed those. No, of course not.
So let's start out. QGraph.
Yes.
For those that do not yet have had, past tense, future, whatever in YouTube. That's difficult.
Yeah.
Their experience with graphs or simply had no need for it, but might eventually. What are we talking about there? What 2D, 3D, C++, QML, all of these things?
It's 2D and 3D in the same module, so you can mix things around. They are built on top of the Qt Quick for the 2D, and the 3D is built on top of the Quick 3D. So are both on top of the scene graph, on top of the RHI.
That sounds fast.
That's the idea behind that. Yes, hardware accelerated. It is mainly aimed for QML APIs, but you can use that also together with widgets with the Q Quick widget itself, and you can embed there. But you also have some APIs, especially for the data handling, both in QML and in C++ then.
Yeah, that's if I was a bit ahead of myself there when I said that's quick. Not Qt Quick, but just quick, fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that must be one of the key things these days. I mean, the days are over where you would sit there in your Excel spreadsheet and you would think, and then there was a line plot there.
Which is exactly the reason also why we needed to move away from charts and data visualization.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, giving kind of the history lesson here, well, he's the new kid on the block. But those were based on the graphics view, etc. So going back to a different, completely QPainter-based stack, etc. So we couldn't move that forward at all. In fact, that's, like we said, with Qt Quick hardware acceleration. That is why we needed to come up with QGraphs.
And do you have any? I mean, for those that sit out there and say fast, are we talking about 2 frames per second, or what are we talking about?
That's quite complex, depends on what you're doing, but definitely is high frequency data. We have a few examples already in our Qt Creator that you can take a look in both the 2D and 3D and play around with how many data points. Yes, you see
it came up here.
Yeah. Magic, hands magic. How many data points you can have, the frequency, and you can see that maintains a high FPS there.
Okay, cool. And the data in there, that's one of those things that, I mean, if I want to just create a line chart for something that I already have in my QML, possibly even a hard-coded one, I just need to show people, what do I know, the growth of the population, and I already have the data and whatnot. Do I really need to go through C++ and whatnot, or can I provide the data straight in QML?
You can provide the data straight in QML, yes.
And now the other part of my brain says, but really, I have my data coming in over the network and whatnot. Is it easy to provide in C++ too?
It is. We have a lot of classes that make it easier to work with these new modules, these new types. That is really straightforward. So plug Ada in there.
Cool. Does he say yes to everything?
Qt is a great product. What can I say?
I gave you a ball to smash that. We are sitting here because 6.10 has been released. Oh, you didn't know? Where have you been the last 1.5
3 hours?
What is new when it comes to charting in 6.10?
Graphs, yeah.
Did you notice I was sitting there like,
It happens. There's a lot of different names, and graphs is what we're going for now.
For now.
Damn it.
Stay tuned. It's 6.0.
What is new? So we have a few things. One is we have a new types, the field surface graph. Can I do the things with the hands and something will pop up here?
Try.
Perfect. Wow. So you can have this kind of graph that, especially in the 3D, you can fill up with like a gradient or a texture or something like that. We have for the 2D multiple axes. So there is this use case that you can have not just your X and Y, you can have multiple X's and multiple Y's axis. We also have a new way that you can change the Z order of your graphs, not just the way you're drawing. Like as you work with Qt, you know that if you go from top to bottom, you will draw first the top and then the bottom, but you can change the Z order. And you can change the same thing with the...
Can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
Because our audience out there, they don't understand what you're saying. His meaning is Z order. Z order, that's...
Z order.
Z order, there we are. You can change the Z order, sorry.
All right, so the Z order, as I was saying. So you can, highlight the graph that you want to bring to the front or back. So you don't, because that happens a lot. If you change the data, you need to redraw stuff. You need to draw in different orders, make it a little bit easier. And we also have a new example showcasing how to easily work with the CSV data to the new graph type, which is quite useful use case.
For the next topic, let's do a small quiz. Are you in?
You start.
Is it possible to specify the model for a list view purely in QML?
Yes.
1 point. And which version of Qt did that come in?
That's your time frame then.
I can tell you.
Clearly 5.
I can tell you this view came in 4.7.
Oh.
Okay.
That was when
Quite
Qt
right.
was introduced. It had list view right away. Could you specify the model there? And should we have a small advertise when they think about that? I can tell you it came from the very beginning. So 1 point for me and 1 point for you. Okay, let's do the same now with our little friend TreeView. That one now with Qt 6.10, it finally is possible to provide your data, your model for the tree in QML. Why did it take so long?
Well, tree models are fairly complex. You would be able to do working with the tree view type in QML with the backend C++. And one thing that we're doing on the timeline of Qt 6 is closing the gap we have, especially for desktop-based applications with QML and Qt Quick. So that's the things that we're focusing a lot. We added really a lot of new functionalities on the lifetime of the Qt 6. And definitely we're missing the tree model itself. So the UI was there, but how to do the model was not. So it took us some time also to realize that and to understand that, hey, they don't want to only showcase really complex data with TreeView. Some things are simpler. And with TreeModel, we make that easier, especially 6.10. And let's make it a little bit offline, but we have, if you were in the Word Summit, there's something really interesting coming. It's called the Qt Bridges, like working with QML in different languages. So we also want to make it easier to do more things in QML for those use cases. So we're introducing that already now to people learn about that, testing. And when it's time to use with the other languages, you can do more things on QML side.
So Maycon just proved that he's saying C instead of set and so on. So let me just do a translation for you guys here. We realized in the Qt company, I'm not for the Qt company, I'm just translating here, that nobody in their right mind would ever do tree data from QML because data like a directory browser, you need to go down and read stuff from the C++ side. The example you actually have in there, that's why I'm building up a bit of drama here. The example you have in there is on QML side, a tree directory structure being built, which is like the last thing you want. So what is the use case for this?
Simple use data, hierarchies. What else can you add in your tree view? Like this is kind of like desktop use cases that I'm not that familiar anymore. Modern UIs that not that useful. But hierarchies, ontologies, for instance, that's something if we're talking about AIs, we talk about ontologies, how you parse data. So that's things that you can represent. It's not about editing and moving things around. That's when you need those kind of complex use cases that you need data that changes a lot. Even the type of data changes. But smartly when you want to showcase something, that's way easier. So something that's more static, although you can do some editing and of course remove or add nodes on the tree. But more for the visualizing part, this TreeModel that's more statically is really helpful.
So I was sitting there in my hotel room last night, and after the 10th shot of whiskey, I finally found a use case for this. No. it sounds like settings might be something that you would like. If I think of my KDE applications, the settings for my application are static. It's not like all of a sudden there's a new settings coming up. But that, of course, brings the next question. Are these models editable? I mean, if in my tree view, I change something on a C++ model, then obviously it'll show up in C++. Are the tree model on QML side even editable?
Is editable. To some extent, you can change the data there, say the data.
Cheers. This is whiskey, of course. I think that you guys just want to put decent people that makes a decent living out of people not figuring out how on earth QAbstractItemModel is pronounced or used. So now you came up with models on the QML side. And another one of those that you're trying to get me out of my job, that's why I'm sitting here interviewing them rather than writing code, is QRangeModel. Tell me something about that.
I've spoken a lot already. You want to add something here?
I can try. So on the range model side, this really goes towards the C++ side mostly. C++ has evolved naturally over all the times. And it's an always ongoing debate on how much Qt can modernize while staying compatible to let's say, older standards. Mm-hmm. So you have two parallel evolutions in that respect coming along. And then the question is, with all the things happening on C++, how can you make it easier to actually integrate that into abstract item model? Mm-hmm. And that's where then the range model comes into play. So you can use your standard list and automatically convert it into an abstract item model for representation in tree view, tables, QML, whatever you want. So that's the general idea about that. Really simplifying your use cases of modern C++, but then also bringing that into Qt.
Okay. So I have a stud list of strings, and I want to show that in a list view.
Yeah.
I'll create a range model, just plug it in there,
Exactly.
and all of a sudden I see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then we all know the reason why we have model view is that you can have multiple view on the same
roles
data.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, multiple view on the same data, and it's like, I cannot remember when I ever saw that the same data had multiple views, but let's not go there. That's what the design pattern book told us about model view, and I was like, yes, multiple. Anyway, but I do have multiple views on the same data, and it goes into this range model, and I can update the other. But what about the underlying data storage, the not the stud list of strings? Will that one be updated?
So if you edit using your UI over the QRangeModel, yes. So we have internalize things that will then update the model itself. So the underlying data structure, if you use directly the QRangeModel as a interface for that.
I understand. I take my mouse and I double click on a cell in my list view and I type 42.
Yeah,
that's not a string. I type Maurice instead of Maycon in there.
Yeah.
And then my model is updated. But my model is the QRangeModel. It's a model on an underlying data structure, namely the stud list that came in.
Exactly.
Will that one be updated?
Yes.
Okay. Just QRangeModel, give it the stud list and everything works.
There are some limitations, of course.
Stop it.
I want to be transparent here. Yes, the idea is yes, it works. What is in our future plans is like if you change the data itself, the structure, the STD structure itself, that's not reflected everywhere, but something that we are already looking for this problem to solve in future versions. But as I told you, as long as you interact with not with the data structure, like the underlying one, but with the range model, then it can properly propagate.
Okay. QRangeModel. I don't want to say it anymore. So Maurice, can you please say the name of the superclass? QAbstractItemModel. Okay, so that is the base class of QRangeModel. So everything that I can usually do with my QAbstractItemModel, I can do that. One thing, though, that I cannot help thinking about is that my model, for those of us that speaks fluent QAbstractItemModel, it has a number of methods. You obviously have row count. Yeah. And I love the fact that, And I'm not kidding you. I think that I have surpassed at least 100 times now that I implemented a row count. And it's like, I have this underneath, I have a queue list of something. I used to have a queue vector, but hey, we are in 6land now, so that's cool. I have this queue list of something, and my row count just go down there, return back up. And of course, I'm a senior programmer, so I test whether the thing upstairs called me with asking for a model index that was not what I expected. So that's cool. Everything is safe and sound. And I implement data, and the data returns stuff. And then if I put it into a table or if I put it into a tree, then I also implement header data. But I just give it a list of numbers. So where does it, I give it a queue list of integers. Where does it know my header data?
We have some pre-built defaults there for handle those kind of data that we know are quite common, like tuples, gadgets, numbers, and this kind of stuff. So far, you cannot add new data types. That's something that is coming for the future, already looking to set these new rows there, but we have a default list of what's already available.
Okay.
Just to make it clear, it's not going to make QAbstract item model superfluous. So all your knowledge, all your expert knowledge is safe for the future. But then again, there's these use cases where you just don't want to write boilerplate code anymore because the language itself has it, std list, etc. So we just make it easy in those cases to just with RangeModel, get the model, tie it in, visualize it, and go. When your use case gets more complex, then obviously you will need to go for your own model at one point in time.
The world is not one-dimensional. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Anyway, two-dimensional, or even, I have that joke from my trainings, not three-dimensional, but three-dimensional. Okay. So how about, let's just narrow down to tables. How do I mean, QRangeModel, open parentheses, here is a list of integers. That maps very well in my brain down to something one-dimensional. But what does my data look like so that it is all of a sudden a two-dimensional data set?
One use case, simple, is like a list of lists, right? Then if you have that, it will automatically go to a table view.
Okay. And it does trees too, right?
It's quite similar if you have the hierarchy, but to confess, I haven't tested myself. Do you know if that will work as a tree?
We're getting into the really complex cases where I'm reiterating it at some point in time. Because usually you don't want to just
between us. This is all just because Volker wanted to play with template data programming, right? And he had read this book saying type erasure. It's like, I need to find type erasure somehow. And then we all of a sudden showed up with this. Right, Volker? Just your comments below. Thank you. This has been me picking on those topics that was interesting from my point of view as a software developer. I know that you guys have been busy with other less important thing, I'm sure, at least less important for my fingers to come out with. So let's end this one with a small battle here. Two of you, see who can come up with the most things that has changed in. And so we'll just continue going on until somebody say, or at least the true highlights of the Qt 6.10, those things that are not necessarily in our fingers, but just happening behind the scenes.
The good thing is that the day we're recording this video is the day that Qt 6.10 is released, and we have a release blog post, a video, you can get documentations online, you can go there and check everything.
He gave up already.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
But joking aside, for me, one of the highlights of we haven't talked yet was for me. I'm a believer of the designing and creating applications should be available to everyone. And one thing that we're working a lot in Qt is to improve our accessibility offering. And one of the things we're bringing is the high contrast support out of the box. So if you have a Qt application using our styles, it will be having high contrast support with Qt 6.10 without you changing any line of code. Just by reflecting what the system is changing, your application will change again. And we're also creating some new helpers and rules to also, if you have a custom theme, you can also implement these functionalities for you, also having high contrast layouts. And we also working together with, for instance, screen readers creators to make it sure that Qt applications work really well with different types of screen readers. And other different things to make like applications more accessible. And I think that's, of course, there is, rules and regulations, but when you're creating applications that is for everyone, it's not just about accessibility, it's just making easier and better. And that's my take, at least.
That's why you don't like trees, huh?
Yeah. Trees are not easy.
I think Maycon has an easy task because everything he does shines and blinks and it's pixels, right? So I guess I'm going to take the other side of Qt in that respect of all the things you don't necessarily see and still needs an update.
Yep.
Talking about the embedded side, going on through like visits to new devices we support where you get QBSP, so starting package and everything basically on that end. Talking about connectivity, network connectivity, there's lots of things been happening on that angle as well. Ending up with a personal point, we now have WebSocket support in MQTT. That's the most important for me. Thanks to a contributor, actually. So, yeah, I guess there's so many things also on that angle to mention.
Yeah. And just as we speak here, just next to me scrolls the list of changes from the changelog, but obviously people are not listening to me when they're reading, so why should I say anything? So please just go and click on them to read all the details. Maurice, it was nice meeting you once again.
As always, pleasure.
And Maycon.
Thank you, Jasper.
Did I pronounce your first name correct this time around?
This time was. You'll learn, yeah.
I'm a fast learner.
Yeah.
People always say that when I interview them. I'm a fast learner. So what did you learn fast recently? Take that away if you're ever interviewing with me. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
For me too. Thank you for inviting us.